Well, as we reported earlier, rents in some parts of the country have soared by up to 80% over the last 5 years. Joining us on the debrief today, Annabelle Brett from Mix FM on the Sunshine Coast and Ben O'Shea from the Nightly in Perth. Welcome to you both. Annabelle, rents are going up, petrol prices are soaring, the grocery bill's also more expensive. How are people meant to afford these increases?
It is really, really tough. I remember when I was first graduating from school and getting into the workforce, someone said to me, "Oh, don't ever spend more than 50% of your wage on rent or you'll be in financial distress." Now people would be lucky to spend 50% of their wage on rent. It's getting very grim out there, and home ownership becomes less and less realistic as the years go on. It seems like we're heading towards a future where only a few very wealthy people will own all of the properties and everybody else will be renting perpetually, and I don't love that.
Yeah, Ben, as Annabelle just said, the stats show rent for a capital city unit can now cost well over half of a typical worker's take-home pay. Just how much stress does this put on people?
Oh, it's huge. I think it's forcing people into just sort of crowded share house situations, especially people on sort of lower incomes. I think it's extremely challenging for them. The cost of petrol as well is just another huge impost on households. When you're looking at why this is happening, though, I think it's tempting to say, look at the Albanese government's tax changes or to look at the increase in interest rates by the RBA. But these property barons, like they might have portfolios of dozens of houses. Those tax changes were grandfathered, so they're still getting all the same entitlements that they used to get. So what is the justification for these people with so many properties hiking the prices and hitting people who can't afford it?
Absolutely. Moving on, schools across the country are banning store-bought costumes that don't fit the literary theme this book week. Annabelle, is store-bought okay, or is creating a costume the whole point?
I think some people will have to opt for store-bought. It does get a little bit elitist out there, but I do have a problem with non-book week costumes. I saw a friend's kid, I don't want to throw them under the bus, and their son was dressed up in a Roblox costume. I think the whole point is that we're meant to be celebrating books, not games that are rotting the minds of children. So if we could stick to the books, that'd be great.
Then many parents are time poor. Is this just creating too much pressure to create the perfect costume?
Oh, book club pressure is real. Take my word for it. I've actually got a friend who's a Channel 7 presenter. I'm not going to name names, but she is unbelievable at the book week costumes. She's so good that other parents pencil book week into their calendars because they can't wait to see what her kids are going to be wearing. And it puts pressure on them to keep up. But that's the sad reality of it. So I wouldn't blame any parent for looking at Temu or looking at Spotlight and going, I can get a costume for $15, and that's, time that's not taken out of my busy day while I'm, desperate to make a few bucks so I can pay that expensive rent.
I admittedly was one of those parents making a last-minute dash to the department stores yesterday.
So real.
Finally, people on public transport are being called out for bad etiquette, with one writer revealing the bad behaviour has gone beyond feet on seats to include eating and spilling food, reading out loud and singing. And this one's a bit disgusting, even cutting their nails. Annabelle, have we just forgotten basic manners here?
I think basic manners are long gone, unfortunately. It's tough for me to hate on it, though, because I live in Queensland, greatest state of all, where we only pay 50 cents for public transport. Like, you do kind of get what you pay for a bit here, unfortunately.
But Ben, should some of these things be kept for the privacy of our own homes?
Oh, look, if you're eating like a tin of tuna on a bus or a train, I think there's a special place in hell for those people. My pet peeve is the people who clearly have a respiratory illness. Did we learn nothing from the pandemic? And they hop on public transport and they're coughing and sneezing and spluttering and they might think they've had a codral and they can soldier on. You can't soldier on. You're just giving everybody else what you have.
Bring back masks, take home the tuna, take home the nail cutting as well. Ben and Annabelle, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thanks, Amber.
Thanks.